we're still on getting started in business. Today we want to talk about challenges for business startups. When we talk about challenges for business startups, we're simply talking about the problems, the issues that businesses might encounter when they are new businesses. The difference between new businesses and existing businesses are this. A new business is a business that is just setting up now. But an existing business is a business that is well established. Whatever happens to the air condition is not a problem. I don't care about it anymore. You should have done that before the class started. Talking now will be seen as a noise. You are expected to listen. Air condition, chair, table, it's not my business. My business is to teach, deliver, and I move. So whatever happens here, it's none of my business. It's not my cup of tea. It's yours. So when you talk about it, I will consider it as noise and interruption. The topic is still getting started in business. Today we're going to talk about challenges for business startups. When we talk about business startups, we're simply talking about new businesses. What are those issues they might encounter because they are new? The first one, ownership structure. As soon as you decide to set up your business, the next thing you think about is the structure of the business in terms of ownership. Do you want to be a sole trader? Do you want to be a partnership? Do you want to be a private limited company or public limited company? Whichever decision you make, you have to put in mind that each decision you make has its risk, has its own liability, and has its control. If you choose to be a sole trader, it simply means you are in charge of your day-to-day running of the business, you are in control of the business. But what happens with your liability? It simply means you have unlimited liability. So whatever happens to the business affects you because of the ownership structure you choose as a sole trader. If you are choosing being a partnership, it means the liability of the business can be spread across your partners, but it's still unlimited liability. If you are choosing a private limited company, it simply means that you are an incorporation, which means your business is different from you. So whatever happens to the business affects the business, it does not affect your personal wealth. So the only thing you're going to lose as a limited company is the amount of money you have invested, not your personal wealth. That makes it limited liability. So one of the things you have to think about is your ownership structure. What kind of business do you want to run? Is it a sole trader? Is it a partnership? Is it a private limited company? Is it a public limited company? Whichever one you choose, it has its own risk, it has its own liability, it has its own control. Sole trader, you are in charge of everything, you have full control. The risk is all on you. The liability, it's all on you. If you are choosing a public limited company, it means you can as well reduce your control. You cannot take charge anymore. Your control, you are losing your control for capital. So that is the difference. Do we get it or not? Do we get ownership structure? That's the first decision you have to make when you are setting up a new business. So you are faced with the decision about who controls my business. How much control do I want in this business? The lesser the control, the bigger the finance, the lower the risk. But the higher the control, the bigger the risk. Do you get it? So there's positive relationship between control and risk. That's ownership structure. The second one is finance. When we talk about finance, we're simply talking about how you get money to run the business. A new business might find it difficult to raise money because it's a new business. It's considered as high risk. And because it's considered as high risk, it might not be able to get finance from financial institutions like bank. And if it's going to be able to get finance or loans from financial institutions, which we call debt financing, if it's able to get loans from banks, it will get a loan that has a high interest rate. And if a loan has a high interest rate, this means your repayment will be increasing. So whatever profit you make, you'll be paying more expenses on them. So the point I'm making here is that a business startup may struggle to raise finance. Why will you struggle to raise finance? You will struggle to raise finance because you are considered as a high risk. And because you are considered as a high risk, you make profit, you don't make profit, you have to repay back the loan. That is the problem about it. You make a profit, you don't make a profit. Banks, your lenders do not care. The only thing they care about is you repaying back the principal plus the interest. That is the problem about getting a loan. Do we get it or not, please? When you debt finance, when you get a loan for your business, it is not a problem. The problem comes because if you don't make profit, you might not be able to pay back the loan. But you cannot make that as an excuse to your lenders. As a borrower, you have to pay back, irrespective of making profit or not making profit. That is the second one, which is finance. The third one is production method. As soon as the business starts, you have to think about the kind of production method you want to use. Is it job production? Is it batch production? Is it flow production? The kind of business you do will decide the kind of production method you use. And the kind of production method you use will decide the kind of, if it's going to be labor intensive or capital intensive. The point I'm making is this: you have to make decisions about production method. Production is the creation of goods and services. So the kind of production method you use is based on the kind of business activity you encounter or you put yourself into. If you are, let's, for example, you are a cake, you bake cake. That is job production. You don't need a lot of sophisticated equipment. So the kind of production method you could use could be job production, because you make cake. Cake are based on specification. Yes or no? So you don't need a lot of equipment to do that. So you might not be capital intensive. But if you are producing probably laptops, you are supposed to use a lot of equipment to produce that. Then you should think about maybe batch production or flow production. Mostly flow production. And if you are a school, you need a lot of teachers. So you need a production method which is labor intensive. You need teachers. You need more workers. So the kind of business you do will determine the kind of production method you use. Do we get the third point here, please? Do we get the third point?
Yes.
And the second to the last one, staff recruitment. When we talk about staff recruitment, we're simply talking about, staff recruitment, we're simply talking about employees. As a new business, you might not be able to attract skilled workers. Why won't you be able to attract skilled workers? You won't be able to attract skilled workers because you might not have the financial capability to pay them. Just like for me, I might not be able to go to a new school, a school that is just setting up, because I might feel that they might not be able to pay me. So a new business might not be able to attract skilled workers because they don't have the financial capability. Do we understand this point? And the last one is competition. I want to talk about competition. What is competition? Competing.
Two things together.
Competing, thank you. What else? Who else can define what competition is?
And two businesses compete each other.
Competition is the rivalry that exists between different firms in the same market or industry. This is what competition is. So, as a new business, it might be difficult for you to compete with established brand. There's Coca-Cola, there's Pepsi. If there's Latif Cola is just coming in. Latif Cola might not be able to compete with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Do we understand? Any question about this?